Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson, and today it is going to be me and you. I want to talk today from the heart of why I feel right now is one of the best times to be either getting in real estate or like in the multifamily space, or to be going to like full-fledged, full tilt, like full speed ahead, because the gifts that are coming right now are the ones that will take care of you for a long time down the road. I couldn't be more passionate about why I think the opportunity is right now to go out and get yours in real estate. And I'm just going to tell you, hold on, this is going to be a great episode. We're going to go and unpack some of the why and really kind of understand the fundamentals of what's going on and why you should be paying attention, and then really why you should be taking action. Action is the key. Massive action is what leads to success, and why so many people don't do it, I will never understand. But I know those who do, those who really get out and say, today is the day. I'm destined to be great. I will, and I want to be something amazing. For all of you that are listening right now, this podcast is for you guys. Before we get that though, a word from our sponsors.
Are you ready to take your multifamily game to the next level and learn the amazing results of living the cash flow life? Apartment investing can change your life. I know for a fact it's changed mine, and I would like to share my extraordinary journey with you and the clues I've learned along the way by giving you my book, Copy Your Way to Success, for free. So text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 480-500-1127. Again, that's the word book, B-O-O-K, to 480-500-1127, and my team will ship it to you absolutely free as a way to say thank you for listening to this podcast. And remember, your paradise is possible.
All right, we're back. Now, listen, by the way, as I'm going through this episode, I'm right now, if you're like, I don't know where to start, go to kahunawealthbuilders.com, and I have a quick start. There's a little pop-up that is going to show up. Hit the quick start video series. Let me show you how to find deals and how to go find brokers, and get money. Right? I have two really good videos that go out that describe all that stuff for you, and it's amazing value. It's for free. So go out there, opt in, and get that. You're going to really like that. So take advantage of me right now. So why is it that right now is the most important time that's upon us? And this is going to be a nice season of buying opportunities. And, we hit these seasons occasionally. And when you do, you've got to know what to do. And this is where, when everybody else is saying you shouldn't be buying, that's usually when you're supposed to be buying. So if you listen to the media and to, interest rates are high and, yada, 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 and, values are coming down, and oh my gosh, real estate's it's bad. And it's not doom and gloom right now. They're not painting that bad of a picture, but it's not great. But there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes right now that you got to understand the fundamentals where we're at. First of all, let's talk about lending, right? So in the lending world right now, it is very hard to get deals done. Banks are not capitalized well enough. They've got a lot of things on their balance sheets. And so the players right now in the space are Freddie and Fannie. Like, agency debt is keeping our markets alive. Now, with that said, though, there's still lots of deals that have assumable loans. And assumable loans are really the thing that I see a lot of these going on right now. And I think it's a good thing, right? But let's talk about the elephant in the room. And this is everybody that has bridge debt. Now, Corey Peterson has 4 bridge notes left, and I'm rapidly trying to get out of them. I have 2 that I'm exiting, and one in October, one probably in October, November, maybe September, November. But then our lease up for the school season. But once we get that completed, we're getting out of 2, and then I have 2 more that I have left to get out of that we're really close. And the great news about my bridge notes is that I'm able to get out. Meaning we've created enough value that we're not going to have to come up with any more money to be able to get out of to normal debt. And that normal debt is Freddie and Fannie. We're doing agency debt. Now, to get an agency debt, you have to be 90%. Now, some deals out there right now are not at 90%. And so they're not going to be able to qualify. And this is really, so people that have bridge notes right now, there's two things that are going on. One is they have bridge notes that their cap rate, a lot of times the bridge lenders made them purchase a cap rate. And when you purchase that cap rate, 2 years down the road, it was probably 40 grand. Now that same cap rate to buy is like $700,000. And so people are not going to buy pay $700,000 to get a cap rate. And so they're going to be forced to sell. So you have cap rates renewals that are coming up that you have to extend. If you want to extend your loan and exercise an option, well, you've got to make sure that happens. And the bridge debt, set the parameters. So they're going to you have to do this at this rate. And so those are super expensive. Or the other part is that if they can refi, if they're at 90%, but the other challenge is, what if they're not at 90, right? To get agency debt, because there's not a whole lot of bank debt out there. And so the ones that are like 85, they're almost there, but they're not quite there, but they can't get it. And they've been pushing it and trying to, they're doing their CapEx program, and everybody's trying to get everything to occupancy right now. And those people are going to be having issues, right? And those are all starting to come to a head now. And that, my friends, is why I think it's a wonderful time to be in the business, right? You make lots of money. You make the most money on the buy, not on the sell, on the buy, on your purchase. And so when there is blood in the streets, when there's untroubled waters, this is where you should be. This is when you buy. So I'll give you a great example of that. Student housing. When student housing came, we had a couple student housing deals, and the markets, COVID happened and they went bad. And so we actually bought more during COVID. Now it's still playing out. We're coming out of that whole COVID season. And, but we bought some great assets along the way. And so we're super excited about what's going on with that. And so that was where there was pain. So you buy where there's pain. And then if you can hold on, and here's the big thing is, if you can buy today with today's debt and make a deal work, then tomorrow's debt, you're going to be probably in a really great situation. So let's say right now you're getting debt at 5.75. That's Freddie debt, right? Agency debt. And if rates go down to 4, right? I mean, even if they go down just to 5 or 4.5, that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you put it on millions of dollars, it makes a huge difference on what your payment when you go to refi. So the trick with the Freddie and Fannie debt is to make sure you have a way, like a step down, purchase a step down, or some type of process where in the next 3 to 5 years, you can refi into a different type of debt or new debt, right? So it's flexibility, but you still want to have, so there's some things that Freddie and Fannie notes allow that give you some room. And that room is really what's going to need the flexibility is what's going to propel you forward, because getting these deals, it's like a magic pill. Like you can, if you buy today's rate and you get to refi tomorrow's rate down the road, and you've got a long-term perspective, you're going to print money. And like that's on top of doing value adding and creating opportunity and raising rents because you're forcing appreciation. It's on top of that. So I am convinced that right now is a great time to be buying. We are working hard with our brokers to find amazing deals that's going to get us into like nirvana, right? And so the challenge that I see, though, is a lot of investors out there are so short-term focused, and that's got to stop. You can't play the multifamily game with a 2-year window. It just doesn't work well. You've got to have a 5 to 7 year outlook. And when you do that right, you can weather a market cycle or a COVID or those types of things that are going to change the way you do the game a little bit. So it's really important that you understand where you're at in the game. And right now we're in a place where it makes sense to buy. So if you can buy now and it still works, then the adage that tomorrow is going to be better. And it probably will be. Now, we don't have a crystal ball, but let's talk about values, right? So because of rates going up, cap rates have finally started to come up too. Not a lot, but they're coming up, making values drop down. So you can go purchase deals now better than you could say during COVID. When COVID was happening, prices went crazy, right? Like you buying a 1970s building at a 5 cap or 6 cap, unheard of, right? And the play, in my opinion, right now is to buy nicer assets, right? I feel like my goal is to now buy stuff like 2000 ish, 2005, 2008, 2015, something a little bit nicer because it's the same cap rate as some of the older stuff, like that old stuff that's going to require a lot more maintenance. So I'm trying to buy bigger and nicer properties. And I found that that's been a really successful combination, by the way. And then do what I call micro repositionings. So I like that property that's 85%. And then now the real challenge, though, and here is the piece that you got to pay attention to, is getting the deals. Getting the deals, guys. And this is where it's totally unfair. I've seen this many times in my podcast, but if there's those types of problems happening, then you've got to be in front of people's minds and the right brokers. This is the big piece of this, is brokers are going to help you unlock nirvana more often than not, right? So yes, you can still go out and do direct mail marketing. You can do all the things that are really popular to find some of the smaller mid 15, 20 unit deals. But to get the bigger deals, they're normally represented by a broker. And so that broker relationship is more important now than ever. So leveraging, if you've done some deals, to leverage that, or if you can partner with someone that's doing some deals and you can have them and use their credibility to help you lever, that, my friends, is the thing that will set you free. Getting in front of brokers, having conversations with them where you're on the inside track, where they're texting you the deals and why they backing up the cash dump truck, right, to put right in your lap. That is the things that make you super, super wealthy. It's an old school game if you think about it, right? Like this game is really weird. It's not hard. The execution of it is, right, but the fundamentals of it pretty simple. But getting it all done and dialed in, and at the end of the day, like that point of the spear is getting the deal. Getting that first deal, getting a broker to believe in you. And so where would I spend my time if I was new trying to find deals? I would spend so much time underwriting deals and getting to know brokers, not just on a business level, but on a personal level. And when you can get to that personal level with the right people, they will propel you to succeed, guys. They will propel your business, and you will see that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. It equals like 7, 8, 10. Getting one person can make such a dramatic impact on your business that if you would go out and search and find that one person that believes in you and your ability and your team, even when you're new, you borrow someone else's credibility. Just do it. Go find a partner that you can do deals with, and do 1 or 2 that way. I see so many people getting mixed up with, I got to own my deal all by myself, or I got to do it all by myself. Man, get over it. Right? What you need is experience. You need a partner. You need someone that's going to help you get through it. If you'll do that, you'll be way more successful, way more faster. And to me, that's the piece, because we're talking about long-term wealth. We're not talking about like just making a couple bucks. We're talking about legacy wealth. And legacy wealth happens when you start playing the legacy wealth game. And most people are still playing it like they're doing fix and flips. And they wonder why they're not really getting long-term success. Well, because they're playing the game wrong. So you got to play the game with a long-term outlook, long-term mindset, and then make moves that make sense in the right times. And I'm just telling you right now, this is the right time to be going in the real estate business, right? In the multifamily space, this is where you should be moving in and saying, I need to find opportunities, because they're starting to show up. They're starting to show up a lot. And you want to be positioned in a place where you're getting these deals. And most people don't do it. And for that, I am super confused on why. Why do you let yourself not do the work? So simple. If I could take my listeners that listen to this and just nudge them just so softly, my gosh, You're like, what do you need to do right now? What's the one thing you're going to do just today? One thing that's going to move you closer to the goal and then get you to do it. Oh my gosh. Imagine if you did that every day. What's the one thing that I got to do today? Just one little thing. Man, you would start looking when you stack that over a 30-day, 60, 90, 6 months worth of little stuff. You'll look back and like, I've climbed a mountain. I am now way more in the game than I ever was. And I just did one little thing a little bit more. Guys, that's success. I don't know if you know that, but that is where success happens, is in that place where you sit there with yourself and you're saying, what am I going to do today? Am I going to sit around on my butt and be depressed and frustrated? Or am I going to recognize the opportunity that's right in front of me and say, today I'm going to do it. Today I'm going to be all in. Today I'm going to be a success. Today I'm going to feel good. I'm going to go home at night knowing that I did what was required. And when you start doing that continually, it's crazy how this shield and armor and vest and veil come around you and cloaks you and strengthens you and emboldens you to become better than you ever thought you could. That's the key, guys. Little things daily, stacked up over time, equals badassery. I'm going to say it just like that. I want you guys to all be superhuman. And to be superhuman is really not that much. It's not much more. It's like a little bit, just a little bit more, become superhuman. Because most people just won't do it. They'll stop at the minute it gets a little bit uncomfortable. If you live in uncomfortable, if you will live there and make that the place where you call home, man, there is no limits to what you can achieve. None, by the way, none. You can live the life and have the dream that you want. And you will get there faster than you ever thought possible if you will just live in that space and be uncomfortable and get things done. That's really the recipe, by the way. So I want to just take this moment and just tell you that if you're listening right now, you are enough. Say to yourself right now, I'm enough. So many times, and I've gone through this. I've gone through this myself where I look back and be like, gosh, can I do it? Or, am I enough? And the truth is you are. You are enough. You are good enough. Your version 1 is better than version none. So put yourself in drive and do the best you can with version 1, right? And you will start finding success. Success rewards those who are in activity. So get active, even if it's a baby step. Baby steps win the race most of the times because most people won't even take the first step, guys. If you realize and understand how powerful activity is and doing some of the little things that really make you great, like that could be the whole, I could do this podcast on nothing but that. And I'm telling you, if you did it and did it in a meaningful way, success would come find you. Success will find you. It's not like if, it's just when, right? So if you will cloak yourself with that mindset and say, okay, what do I need to do today? And start putting, and we know the timing's there, right? The timing is there, guys. We're in a great spot in the real estate space and where we're at in the economy and the market that this is. Now, are we at the exact bottom? I don't know, right? Will we go down a little farther? We could, right? But it's close enough. We're in a spot where if you can buy today, you're probably going to be rewarded, right? And the great thing is, no matter what, is if you keep real estate long enough, it'll always work, right? The trick is to buy cash flowing properties. Make sure that your deals can cash flow. And if they don't do them, right? That's usually why I don't buy in the West Coast. It's hard for me to make deals cash flow in Arizona. I wish I could. Maybe if I got a different type of capital stack, I could. And I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I could find deals. But for me, it's just simpler to go work in the Midwest and the South, where I currently am operating. And I have better broker relations. So I just hit door number 2. Like, I don't need door number 1. But would I like to do stuff in my own backyard? Of course. Would it be easier? Yes. In my mind, I think like I have my management team, it'd be easier. But whatever, right? So I mean, but I'm not gonna let that take me down. just going to understand what it is. But I know if I buy for cash flow, when seasons of unpredictability come in, I can still make my deal survive. Doesn't mean I'm going to get to pay my investors, but I can survive the deal and move on to greener pastures down the road. That's time. You need time to cure all wounds with real estate, and they usually will get cured. Right now, sometimes you got to do the work. And maybe you have to raise a little more money. You've got to make sure you're managing your assets well. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but there's a lot of things that can go right if you manage them properly. So, but getting in the game and understanding when it's time to strike it. Right now, you can always buy real estate anytime and make money. But right now, there's a better opportunity. They're saying there's more opportunity right now to buy. If I could go back in time to like 2009 and 10 and 11, I would have bought as much property as I humanly possibly could. I would have pushed myself harder. So that's what I'm trying to do now today, is to say it is the time. Push yourself a little harder to get in the game. Maybe you need a little more education, right? Go get my quick start workshop, right? Or, here next spring, we're going to be offering our boardroom. We're going to ramp up our boardroom production to where we're going to do it 4 times a year. So that's something we're going to really get aggressive on and teaching, because I believe right now is the right time, right? I think we're going to have a good year and a half of great buying opportunities. Could be 2 years, who knows, right? But I believe that it is the time to start getting going. And for you, whatever that is, I'm just telling you, you need to shift gears. You need to mentally go there and put it in drive or second, like, let's go. Don't wait. What are you waiting for? Right? Because the signs are there if you look hard enough. And so if that's the case, then like, what are you going to do about it? Take that information, say, what are you going to do? Let's talk about raising money, right? Raising money, a little harder right now. It is. Facts, right? So, but there's still money out there that needs to be placed and wants to be placed. There's trillions of dollars in the financial, stock market world, right? Bond, mutual funds, things like that. So why not start looking for those types of people? Like, you should be, the challenge is most people that I know that do multifamily do it wrong. They go find private equity. They're all conditioned to go to a private equity source, or like they don't really try to find their own equity. And when they do private equity is making all the rules. And pref equity is getting first position. They're giving you such a small portion of your deal that you think you're in real estate, but you're just a slave to the money. You just don't know it. So stop doing that. In fact, we teach it totally different. Why? Because I believe you should do it. You should be rewarded for being the deal sponsor, for doing all the work, and make the money your slave, right? And listen, in the stock market world, the financial advisory world, 6 to 8% is good. So when I see investors giving 20 to 25 or whatever their 70-30 splits are, it's tremendous. And I'm like, gosh, you guys are giving your investors way too much, right? I feel like, and most investors that are thinking 6 to 8 in the financial world, when they hear 20, they think it's speeding. They think it's too much. They think it's unrealistic. Facts. So what if you were able to get a community of those types of people on your list? You should, right? And if you follow me enough, you'll learn how the secrets, how I do it, right? I'm doing it all the time. And I get low cost of capital. Why? Because I understand what that capital is looking for. And so once you start going about it the right way, and it makes your deals perform easier. It's easier to hit your marks when you're lowering your cost of capital to a reasonable rate that you can hit and achieve. Most people just want what you say, not what, and that's the other thing I see a lot of financial guys that are doing this business as syndicators. They promise the world, but they only give something totally different. And they blame it on the market, they blame it on whatever, right? And so investors don't like that. That's why they get disenfranchised with it a little bit. So make sure they get the outcome that they're expecting, right? And so that's how we design our PPMs and our structure. We put investors first. Always have, always will. So guys, I just want to take the moment and challenge you. I'm just going to tell you right now, you are enough. You are great. You are beyond measure. If you'll take that advice, you will take what I'm giving you right now and just say, today I'm going to be great. Today I'm going to do the things that I need to do to be successful, and to grow my business. I will not accept mediocrity. I will not accept anything that will come in to affect my mind. I will protect my mind. I will build it up. I will strengthen it. I will condition it to think only good thoughts, to be proactive, to go out and get what I need, and to find my ways around the obstacles. I will not be deterred. I will keep pushing each and every day, and I will win. I will proclaim it, I will stand it, and I will say, I will win. Guys, if you have that mindset, if you believe it, you can achieve it, and your paradise is possible.